This was question 2. And in question 2, students were asked to state which account to be debited and credited from each of the following. So there are scenarios that are given, and for each scenario, a student has to indicate which account is to be debited and which account is to be credited. It is very important that you know the difference and you know when to debit an account and when to credit an account. One of the ways in which you can easily remember these two concepts is to think of the house. You have got a house with so many rooms, and every time you bring something into the house, you are debiting that particular house or a particular room. For example, you could debit a room for purchases. Every time you buy something, you bring it into the house and you put it into the purchases room. Every time you buy something, I want to repeat, you bring something or you receive something. Like for example, someone deposits money into your bank account, in which case, okay, let's call that bank, you debit. So to debit, when you debit, you are receiving. And that is why there's the principle that you debit the receiver and credit the giver. When you are crediting, it means that you are removing from a room and taking somewhere else outside your house. So you have a house with different rooms, and every time you are receiving, you are going to put what you are receiving in its respective room. If it's a purchase, you're going to put in the purchases room. If it's a check that you have received, you're going to put it in the bank. So remember, the principle is you debit the receiver and you credit the giver. So let's now turn to number 1. There's one here that you bought furniture for cash. Bought furniture for cash. So waenda kugula vintu, you have purchased. What have you purchased? Furniture. So which account are we going to debit? Furniture. We are going to debit the furniture account, and then money was coming out. What are we going to do? We're going to put cash, because this money is in the form of cash. What follows? Number 2 here is sold goods for cash. So what did we receive? We received cash. We have a room called cash. And what did we give out? We sold out. So what is it basically? It sells. Number 3, bought goods paying by check. Bought goods, so we have received purchases. Paying by check. When we pay by check, we use the bank. Number 4, bought goods on credit from Electronic Suppliers Limited. Bought good. What are we bringing? We purchased. So purchases is what we put here. I hope you can see that. Purchases. And on this side, we are going to write electronics suppliers. Okay. Number 5, paid electronic suppliers by check. Who received in this particular case? The one who received is electronic suppliers. So this is the one that's going to be debited. You write the name in full there. And they received their payment using check. So bank on this side. Number 6, withdrew cash from the business for private use. Withdrew cash from the business for private use. So this is a drawing, and on this side it is cash. Number 7, paid creditor Sunday Tumelo by cash. Sunday Tumelo is the one who receives cash, so we're going to debit Sunday Tumelo. Okay, just write Sunday Tumelo here, and then which account is going to be credited? The account that's going to be credited is a cash account, because it is giving out. Money is going out. Number 8, bought machinery on credit from Agrovet Limited. Bought machinery on credit from Agrovet Limited. So we purchased. So we put here machinery. Machinery. And the account to be credited is Agrovet. Agrovet Limited. Number 9, bought goods on credit from Mwewa and Sons. Purchases. Purchases. Is that even the correct spelling for purchases? All right, so let me just write it correctly. Purchases. Purchases, and then credited, the account to be credited is Mwewa, Mwelwa, and Sons. Number 10, sold goods on credit to Hamakowa. Sold goods on credit to Hamakowa. So, who received? The one who received is Hamakowa. Hamakowa. So, debit the receiver, credit the giver. So we are going to debit Hamakowa. And then on this side it is sells. And that's it. 20 marks. You need 50 marks to pass the exam. In less than 10 minutes you can get a whole 20 marks by simply knowing how to debit and how to credit. Which account to debit and which account to credit. I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Captain 37. The 37 is the number 37. For now, goodbye.